We're going to start with estate taxes, and my partner Jenny cringes every time I start talking about estate taxes. Mainly because 2010, this is the #1 tip, probably a good time to die, isn't it? I mean, if you're rich, George Steinbrenner, yeah, hey, if you're rich, what a better year to go. Because in 2010, if you don't know, there is no estate tax. We have no estate tax. Well, that's okay, well, what's normally the estate tax? Well, there's two options that are on the table right now. #1, if nothing happens in D.C. Before the end of the year, we go back to year 2000. Now, a simple example, maybe this will help you guys. Let's say someone has an estate of $20 million, and most of it's tied up in real estate, land, building, property, plant, and equipment of a small business owner. Life insurance proceeds are in there too. With the tax laws that we could revert back to, they get a $1 million exception and then pay 55% on the rest. That's $19 million at 55%. That's like $11 million or something like that. That's the estate tax if they die January 1st, 2011, and nothing else happens. Okay, but that's not what's going to happen, everybody says, right? Politicians, they got together and they're going to change that. They're going to go with a $5 million exemption. Great. We pay estate tax on $15 million at 35%, which is closer to about $5.25 million. Or what we have in 2010. 2010, if you die in 2010 and you have $20 million, you don't pay any estate tax now. Now you might pay some with as you sell the property, plant, and equipment and the real estate. You're going to pay maybe $3 million according to the current tax rates, capital gains, if you understand capital gains rates. But you can pay that over 20 years. So the question I always ask is, what's $5 million worth to you? That's funny. Because what's $5 million worth to you if Grandpa's on a respirator? What's $5 million worth for you if you take Grandma for a walk by a sharp cliff? And this is why my partner cringes every time I talk about this. This is terrible public policy. In 2001, Paul Krugman, an editorializing author in the New York Times, pointed this out. This is terrible public policy. This is horrible. I mean, why wouldn't you euthanize somebody in this for $5 million? You think some people, nobody in this room would. No, I'm not saying anybody in this room, nobody in this room would. But I'm sure there's unscrupulous people in Iowa or something. But it's really, really bad public policy. And what it shows, guys, is that when you have tax law that is undetermined, undecided, we're not sure what's going to happen, these are the kind of things that pop up. And again, Paul Krugman wrote in 2001, this is the dumbest idea. Now, Paul Krugman's pretty harsh on Republicans. Paul Krugman is a very liberal writer for the New York Times, and he tore into George Bush and the Senate Republicans especially because they passed it using reconciliation. Doesn't matter if you know what that means. They passed it without 60 votes. And he tore it, and he said, this is what's going to happen. He was right. He was right, because he knew this was a political football. They were going to punt and punt and punt and punt. So we got really bad public policy. So now that I basically told everybody to kill Grandma and Grandpa,